Hey everybody, welcome back to Champ and Sons and our Planet Coaster series, where as you can see we have got a new coaster built for y'all today, and that is what we are going to be doing here in this video. It is going to be a B&M wing coaster, the third B&M of the park, the third coaster of the park. And right now, the way this park is shaping up, it's pretty much all B&Ms at this point, so we'll have to see about changing that up as we go. I'm probably going to put in an aero coaster as well as definitely at least one RMC. Now, as that said, welcome back to the channel if you are joining us here and you've been following along with the series. And if you are new to the channel, welcome back, welcome as well to everything we've got going here in our new park on Planet Coaster. Now, what we're looking at here is just kind of the overall planning of it and where we're going to build the park at. All this was recorded off a live stream on Twitch, so that's kind of why you see the mouse moving around super fast. It's taking a live stream, about a little over 2-hour live stream, and it is sped it up by about 4 times, give or take. Just to kind of go over what those sections were. One, the little outline dirt path right there is going to be kind of where we have all of our games set up. We are going to put in a bunch of games there, mainly I forget what that's called, but you know, just a little section for some games, possibly looking at maybe doing more of a junior type area, so we have the games they can play along with a couple smaller junior rides. Is a thought process of what we're going to put there. There are going to be definitely a bunch of games though that I've already decided, and so it's kind of just what else is going to go there. I'm definitely thinking that maybe a kiddie type section. On the far side of the park, we're looking at probably doing a water ride. Most likely a log flume is going to be the best plan that I have for it right now is going to be a log flume. So that's going to be over there, and then in that little middle section coming off the main entrance plazas where we are going to have our new ride that we're going to build in this episode. And I think it's going to help create a lot of flow around the park, right? That's kind of the idea behind this, and so that's what we're looking at doing. Now, I haven't really figured out this space filler yet. I do have an idea, right? So the ride is going to go in this little section, and thinking maybe either a flat ride or, possibly just looking at a space filler building acting as kind of a theater kind of setup for it. So it's going to be kind of interesting as we go to see how this thing develops. If you have any thoughts of what you would like to see in that little area right here next to this wing coaster at the entrance, by all means put it down in the comments, and let's see if we can get some work building into this park together. That's going to be the pure idea behind it. So now you see the station. I did make the station a little longer just for the simple fact that I wanted us to be able to fit 2 trains without having to worry about block sections. It's kind of cheating, and it looks ridiculous at times, but it really actually works out. It did it pretty well over there on the invert coaster. I took the same theory with the B&M, or with this wing coaster. So the idea behind this one is I didn't want to do the dive loop coming in right off the lift hill. I've never been on a wing coaster. I couldn't tell you which is really the better route to go, but I don't know, I've just never been that big of a fan of that kind of start to a ride. It's hard to say that having never been on one of these, but that's just kind of how I roll. I did look up the height. Kind of average height was between 50 and 80 meters, so at 194 feet, we're right perfect at the alignment. Now, I did put it at a 60-degree down angle. Wasn't going to go anything beyond that. I felt that might be a little too much. Plus, this way, it's easier to put a gradual coming out of the hill and into what's going to be the first little loop section. Now, one thing I thought was kind of interesting, which I will figure out a little bit later in here, is looking at the supports, how they all just stick out to one side. They ignore the inside portion, but all stick out to the path side. I thought once I started putting a path in, what we're looking at is going to be kind of, removing those supports and possibly having to do custom supporting, which is not my favorite thing in the world to do. So I didn't want to have to do it, and it turns out we don't. I actually like how things come out once we start putting some path work there. It makes those hills a little bit better. Now, I did need a turnaround section, right? We have like those Immelman loops and all that fun jazz, but I felt that it just doesn't come off correctly. It's going to be too thin, and this is kind of a lot of space to fill up. And as this ride develops, what we look at here is going to be this little middle section between all this coaster track is going to be kind of like a ride plaza area. We're going to have some shops. We're going to have the exit building there. We're going to put in a lot of viewpoints, which hopefully give us some great views of the coaster going down. And so it should be pretty interesting. Now here I'm looking at the test stats for it. I did test it just to make sure those 0G rolls weren't going to be too much to kind of kill somebody, but it turns out to be just about perfect. So I really like how things turned out in this ride. I think it comes out beautifully in the end, and it's got multiple inversions, lots of thrills, and generally probably actually really, as far as the rating goes, some of the better ratings in the park as for a roller coaster. So I do kind of take these turns a little carefully, and you'll see me have to go back through and redo some of this stuff because I didn't do the offset for a bank turn. So, it's one of those things that you build these rides and you forget minor little details like that. So we have to go back through and fix them. So I'm going to go ahead and hop off here, let y'all finish watching the design of this ride, and then I'll catch up with y'all here in a little while. There will be POV rides on this thing. We are going to add in some animatronics, so definitely stay tuned for that as we work on some of the station that we'll get to a little later in this video, and I will catch up with y'all at that time. So I'll be back here in a few. Hey everybody, I am back. Hope y'all have stayed along so you can get to the POV rides near the end by basically about the last minute. So we have got the track design, and I've gotten some path work laid out, mainly just to kind of outline where the little plaza section is going to be. So that's why we had that there. And did y'all notice, as I mentioned with the path work on that opening lift hill, works out pretty well to make it, although I don't think that's very stable in reality. So, we'll have to see how it goes. Now, this is not the launched wing coaster. It is designed based off of Falcon, I guess. And the naming of it went with Falco. For those of y'all who don't know Falco or don't remember, think Star Fox 64. And Falco, obviously not the main, but one of our favorites in reality. Falco he's going to be the inspiration behind this ride. And so we've got a whole recoloring scheme that we did. We've got a lot of the path work in just to, like I said, make sure we get things shaped out and everything kind of matches up correctly with it all. And so looking at the Star Fox, right, the launch of the base is actually from a spaceship, and so it's at least part of it's on a spaceship, right? So at least we wanted to go with those kind of colors, which is more the gray, and then you have obviously some blue mixed in. So this is going to be the station that we're working on building right now. It's going to be more of a basic station, with it being a wing coaster, and with how we're going to be adding in the animatronic doors for exiting as well as entering the station. We did have to kind of go back through and measure some stuff out, but mainly the station has to be enclosed, right? And not 100% enclosed. I do put in a few windows in there, just to make sure that we keep it open so you can see, but for the most part it's an enclosed station that we're building. And this is, you see me screwing around with these doors. I will set these to a trigger on the actual ride, which is actually what we're doing right now. Speak of the devil, setting the trigger for the release, opening of the doors, and man, it does work perfectly. But one of the things with having this kind of door set is you have to have it on an enclosed space. Now, how do we fill in this space? You may be asking yourself. Trust me, I was asking myself that question too. But this is the process that we're going to be going through to get that kind of filled in. Some of the stuff here with the wing coaster that we have, just taking a look and thinking about it, it's got to have wide entrances, wide exits. So getting this, station built, it's definitely an interesting little challenge. And here you do see me putting space in for windows, because as much as I like having open, areas, open station coverings, whenever you have to close it in, it doesn't make you feel so trapped once you're actually able to, view everything, if you can see the outside world. So keep that in mind. Here we're just putting in the ground flooring to everything, and then finally make the smart decision to lower it. I do stick it out some, just because in reality you wouldn't have something set up to where it sits on the inside. I think it looks better and gives a little bit more theatrical element to it being on the outside. And so that's kind of how we're doing it. And it ends up being shifted into the perfect position for how we wanted to do this. It really turned out beautifully for getting this door in. And we are going to put one in on the other side, right? So here we're doing some minor little detail. I have to fill in that bottom section with some supports. But I might just try to do some angle to essentially make it look like the front of a kind of ship or an exit. I haven't really decided at this point of the filming. I do go through and put in a big ass spaceship on the top, and for a person who's not very artistic, that it's a little tough to pull off, but I think we get it done pretty well. Now, one detail as I'm seeing this and talking about it that I'm remembering that I forgot to do is I got to put window trims into these windows. It's the glass panels that are in there, so it looks open, but I do have to put some window trim in, which reminds me I'll have to go back and do that off camera, or we may do that in the next live stream. Just as a reminder, we do stream on Twitch not every Saturday. I try to do every Saturday, but we do stream on Twitch on Saturdays. Normally around 11 in the morning is when I have them scheduled, but it's one of those. I got stuff going on. I mean, everybody's got stuff outside of streaming and recording, that it's one of those things. I just want to make sure I get everything taken care of before I get on to do the stream. So here we're gonna run it through. I just want to see the doors, the coaster come into the station through these doors, see the effect of it, how it looks on it. I actually like seeing the ride go from this angle. It's the first time I've ever thought about it. Looks pretty good. That barrel roll, I'm telling you, at full speed is a little janky, but when it's sped up like this, that barrel roll looks really good. I kind of impressed myself with it. I thought I was going to have to go back through and redo some stuff, refix up some stuff, because I need to probably, for a barrel roll, make the 4-meter pieces. I have a feeling would be the better option, but I did not go with that when building. I went with my standard, which is probably closer to 6 meters if I had to guess. Could not tell you for certain, but probably closer. Now here, I know this building's going to need supports. We got a roof, right? You got to have the supports in. So I finally get these coaster supports down. And I don't want to interfere with the queue line too much. That one pole right there is in the middle of where people are going to be standing. They're going to be clipping through, and it becomes a so be it, it is what it is kind of situation. Really. So now I needed to get this stuff put in, and I wanted to get it lined up. So I did shift it over some. Once I got it even with all of the other poles, that didn't become that big of a difficult thing to do. I do just think they would need the supports. That's really about it. And then I debate with myself, round or square. I do end up settling on the square ones just because the round looked kind of goofy with the square post. So we do settle up with these, and we kind of get everything supported, and then we'll get the roof put on, as well as get to building on our spaceship, which, I enjoy it. I like how it looks. I don't have the greatest ability to build those kinds of things, so, for me to be impressed, it doesn't take that much. But definitely stay tuned, take a look at it. Give me your thoughts down below in the comments on anything that you might want to see change with it. Any ways we can make it definitely better, because I could always use help in that realm. So we are going to finish setting this up, getting the station built, and then we're going to get a couple POV rides put in here for y'all in just a few minutes. But this is where I'm going to leave y'all off as we get to the ending of this build for the station and the spaceship. Definitely, like I said, stay tuned for that. Or the POV rides are in and around the last minute of this. And remember to join us on Twitch every Saturday, or almost every Saturday, as we do try to stream from between 11 to 1. So definitely stay tuned for that. And then I will see y'all in the next episode. Hopefully I'll see y'all on Twitch. If not, it'll be back here on YouTube next week, where we are going to try to get the rest of this area finished. The queue path, the station's more or less done, but the queue path we're going to have to do, as well as the whole little plaza area. So stay tuned for that for this next week, and I will see y'all in the next episode, everybody. Like I said, stay tuned for the POV. Remember to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and give us a thumbs up if you do like how this park is coming up in Planet Coaster, and provide any thoughts or ideas, suggestions you have down in the comments. I look forward to hearing from y'all, and I will see y'all in the next one, everybody. So as always, stay safe, and well, y'all know how it goes from here, right? Later, y'all.